All right, well, let's take a look at your build before we get to that. Characteristics of the RPG Yamato. It's the same as a regular Yamato, which means slow to sluggish performance in terms of maneuverability and handling. It's got the cheek citadel. Armor is kind of meh, but what everybody cares about with the ship is the guns, right? It's got 460mm guns, the largest in the game, and they will destroy
Well,
overmatch
largest
everything.
in real life.
Yeah, I know. That
Not the largest in the game anymore.
once upon a time it was the largest in the game. And they said it would never the game would never have larger caliber, and then yeah. Anyways, very good ballistics on these guns, good good AP performance if they can hit shells on cruisers, whatnot. They typically overmatch everything, all that good stuff. Okay. What has larger caliber now? Well, there's the Super Yamato, right? They
There's a Shikishima has more,
Fukushima
and
Incomparable.
in comp.
the Hanover and the Satsuma has more.
Satsuma is the Super, yeah, exactly. And those are 20-inch guns. These are 18.1-inch guns. So, sheesh indeed, Joker. Sheesh indeed.
Incomparable. What has incomparable?
508.
548. It doesn't make any difference for gameplay purposes, though.
No.
You don't get any relevant
No. Because
overmatch stuff. If anything, it makes the guns possibly worse because of how the fuse threshold is calculated.
right. So 460 is the sweet spot because you take the millimeter, divide that by 14.3, and that's how much armor you overmatch. Overmatch is important because it means it doesn't matter what angle that armor is, the shell just simply goes through it. So Yamato overmatches with 460, 32 millimeters of armor. They will overmatch, therefore, battleships with 32 millimeter plating. British battleships, French battleships, most of the bow stern armor of like American battleships and stuff. A lot of ships have 18-inch guns, but they aren't quite 460. They're 457. 457 divided by 14.3 is 31.95. They do not overmatch those 32 millimeter thresholds I was just talking about. So 3 millimeters actually makes a difference in this case. And as Grunty mentioned, going above that probably doesn't matter because the big threshold is 32.
If you're cynical, you can say these 3 millimeters is what keeps the Yamato somewhat relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you go above 460, like I said, you hit other thresholds that don't really matter for the most part in this game, at least right now. So, you're good. Oh, look, there's Stevie when we brought him inside. He's about 4 or 5 weeks old there. Thank you for the gifted sub there, NBA. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
2,400 gifted subscription.
So let's get into the build that we are looking at here. You've got main armaments mod 1. You've got damage control, aiming systems mod 1, damage control mod 2, so you don't burn and flood as much, concealment for better, concealment, and then you've got main battery, which makes sense. If you had the unique upgrade, this is where it would go, and it just helps with your tighter shell dispersion. So it's very handy in Yamato, but I would say it's not like 100% required. Slow turret traverse, that is very true, Falcon. Believe it or not, once upon a time the turret traverse was even worse than this. It's gotten buffed recently. By recently I mean like 3 years ago. You've chosen to run spotting aircraft instead of fighters, which makes sense. Trisak, is this a special build? A special captain? Is it Yamamoto?
It is Yamamoto.
Okay, I figured as much. Now, Yamamoto has his talents that come into play. If you get First Blood, you get an extra consumable. And then if you get a Kraken, you get a ridiculous reload on your guns. And you get a bit of a nice chunky heal, which comes in very handy. The other thing about Yamamoto is you get a buff to your preventative maintenance for battleship skills. You also get a buff to grease the gears. Both are very sexy. So what you've gone is kind of your standard tanky battleship build Emergency repair specialist, grease the gears. Basics of survivability, concealment, fire prevention, enhanced emergency repair expert, I should say, and then adrenaline rush. I mean, this is what you do on a build for Yamato.
It's the full tank build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preventive maintenance in the next patch gets buffed and buffs the AA and secondary survivability, so might be worth taking as the 1-point skill next patch over the emergency repair specialist.
Which one?
As the
Preventive
tier 1 skill.
maintenance. Yes, the tier 1 skill next patch.
Because it does what now?
It buffs the survivability of AA and secondaries.
Okay, yeah, that's very handy, and especially if it's additional buffed because Yamamoto. Now you looked at that, didn't you?
I don't know if Yamamoto's buffs this skill any further. I can check this on the PTS if you give me 2 minutes.
Sure, that'd be great. As far as gun feeder, look, you're probably never going to be shooting AHE in this ship. There's no reason to. You overmatch everything under the sun for the most part. So there's no reason to be switching to AHE in my opinion. So gun feeder I wouldn't take. For flags, anti-det, ramming, fire reduction, heal boost, speed, consumables, anti-air. One thing you're missing is flood recovery. That's it.
You're triple stacking the fire duration, which is fine, but just loses value over time, so could consider either dropping the basics of survivability and picking up maybe the other 3-point skill that gives you the heal back quicker, or
Improved
switching
repair
out
party
the force
readiness.
slot model. Yes, that one.
Are the tips
Maybe.
correct for Montana? No, Montana's 406mm guns. It will only overmatch 37mm of armor. It will not overmatch 32. As a result, you may find yourself slinging HE a lot. So, no, this is not the same build you would want to take for Yamato, for Montana.
So the survivability on the preventive maintenance standard is plus 15% for AA and secondaries.
Okay.
Yamamoto has it buffed to plus 20%.
Okay. It helps more. It's not fantastic, but it does help. Okay. I think it's just commander rework, since next week you're gonna see preventive maintenance changing. Yeah, right. Exactly. And that's what Grunty was mentioning earlier. All right, Treesock, is there a death pick in this game?
There is a death pick.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, let's get to your game then, and let's see how it plays out. So, for Montana, grease the gears becomes more important in my opinion, because you want to be able to switch. Montana is much quicker, more maneuverable, and like I said, there's chances you are going to be shooting HE, so gun feeder comes in handy for Montana. Puddin', you play Montana a lot. Are there any other skills to consider for Montana? Uh-oh. Puddin', you there? We lost Puddin'. I'll DM him to let me know when you're back.
I guess it depends on the Montana, if you play it with unique upgrade or not.
Personally, I wouldn't, but I know there are people that like to do that. We've seen that in COTS, actually. So congratulations, by the way, Treesuck, on being on the most historically accurate map.
2 submarines and a carrier.
Yep, got 2.
You're a Yamato and Ocean. You won the jackpot!
So the first thing I will say is, because there's a carrier, you might want to think about finding a buddy to stay with. And right now, Treesock, you are not doing that. The buddy to stay with is important because it helps with your anti-air.
Yeah, I would not go anywhere alone here. You're just making yourself way out to an easy target for the CV.
Yep.
And also for the submarines.
And even the destroyers if you're in the front. Like right now, there's this massive gap.
I mean, it's a Harugumo and Illusion, so...
You still have the Harugumo torpedoes to deal with.
over and over again.
Yep. Howden Leo paid attention, realized the thing is early on when you shoot because you're not detected, as soon as you become detected, good players know that as soon as you become detected to look at you to see if you fired at them. And that's what that Howden Leo did, so there's no need to keep shooting at him. Oh, shoot the Takahashi. Shoot the Takahashi. Forget about the Burgon, in my opinion. Takahashi shooting at somebody else anyway, he's totally distracted. What is this Veneto doing? Look at the Veneto in the middle of the map.
Yeah, he's making a play.
Okay,
I
well...
think he saw the matchmaking and just wanted to get out.
So the nice thing...
That's my guess, and I'm sticking with it.
The nice thing about the Veneto is he can actually get into the B cap, pop his Inky, and I think he can cap the entirety before his smoke expires. I think that's what he's trying to do right there. You're gonna try for it anyways.
I am.
If you reset him, if you hit him once, you've negated his entire smoke. And you actually citadeled him and got him with 2 decaps. LOL. So a lot of times I think of Yamato as a quarterback. It is the quarterback of the team. It stays behind the line of scrimmage. Look at your line of scrimmage. Gdansk and Castilla are closer to the enemy, and that's it. That's very little protection for you.
Yeah, I'm sometimes not always good about that because I don't want to end up too far back where as the game progresses I end up being irrelevant.
Of course.
And I think part of why I was able to hit the Veneto there was because I didn't. One is I stayed in the middle, which I think was what my plan was originally, because everyone was spreading out to the sides.
See, I think you don't want to be in the middle in the Yamato.
No.
For one, you can get cheeked from both sides. And the second is like, if you're in the middle,
everybody's angled to
the enemy
you.
team is most likely not being in the middle, which means you're gonna shoot to one side, and then if something pops up on the other side, you can't shoot it because your turrets are way too slow. Whereas if you're committing to one side, you basically always be looking in the same direction, which makes it easier to switch targets.
You know where I would have gone initially, Treesock, is probably Golf 1. Because it gets you on the flank, it gets you behind teammates. Unfortunately, if you look at the system right now, your Montana died, so you would then be kiting away, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Sub at extreme ASW range, okay.
And backing up here and turning around was my original goal. But after I kill that the sub, I realized that I'm not quite as isolated as I thought I was, and I'm going to turn back around.
What do you mean by not as isolated?
So I do have the sub there with my sub. So it's the Vermont. And that's at least, and the Des Moines.
Okay, I like the decision to shoot the Des Moines, although I might have waited until all 3 guns were available. Because of that, you just citadeled him. Can you follow up with this? Nicely done.
Yeah, and especially with the Des Moines, I know his armor is something that I can hit hard from
Absolutely.
most angles.
This is what makes Yamato special, right? Is the ability to overmatch things, and you don't have to worry about angling. You just shoot him.
Yeah, and the Vermont is bow into me, so he's not going to be able to really shoot back as much as I can right now.
Vermont is not a threat at all, 100%, because it's really about turrets that can shoot you. You don't care about that.
And I'm not going to let the Sarugama just open water gunboat me.
Well, You're smacking him back enough to make him realize that it's probably not a good idea. Kind of funny, actually. Double fire, so there's the DCP.
Yeah, I have no idea why this Haruma just keeps shooting.
I think he feels safe. I mean, who else can shoot him right now? The sub just died. So it's the Gdansk that can shoot him. And that's it. So that's why he keeps shooting. He wants to burn you down. But you keep hitting him. That was a full pen right there. That was nice. So you just need an overpen and he's gone. How long do you let fires go? General rule of thumb, nice kill, is if you're on one fire, you let it burn. If you're on two, you DCP it. 2 or more. That's the general rule of thumb. If you're on a British battleship, you might let all of them burn because you don't care. Fire damage is 100% repairable. The worst thing you can do to yourself is DCP the initial fire and then, you know, get set on 2 or 3 permanent or even 4 and you get burned down to the waterline. So the rule of thumb is 2 fires or more DCP it.
I would not have turned here yet. I would have waited on at least until this salvo from the Vermont came in.
It is a little aggressive, but it actually worked, and the Vermont is stopping, so you get another easy citadel off of him. So
I mean,
wow.
I like the idea of turning around. I just don't like the timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I probably could have timed it better. I wanted to see if I could go undetected, but the smoke ended, so I knew the Des Moines would just keep spotting me. So it's like, well, I'm just gonna sit there until he decides to shoot at me. So let me just go ahead and turn.
Now, what you have going for you is the fact that there's a sub, but it's on the other side of the map. At least this last known is. So you don't have to worry about a sub. You don't have to worry about a destroyer. So this is kind of ideal for you. I would absolutely focus the Vermont until he's gone.
Yeah, me too. Like, just get the ship out. Then you only have 1 ship shooting at you, not 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was double checking to make sure he wasn't gonna open up broadside to me.
And now you can see, this is what we were talking about. Look how low HP you are at this point. Time to sleep? Alright, take care, Diamiels. There's the DCP because of that. So Treesock is trying to make it so that if he can, he will be able to live until his heal comes up, and then he can use that heal to, you know, live.
Yeah. So even if it was just the 1 fire, even if it didn't have that much time left on it, it was making sure I had enough to get to the heal.
Yep. 1,000 hit points left on the Des Moines. Oof. You've seen this often in your Vanguard when you see 3 or 2 fires, you DCP, but right after you get 2 fires, single punch, and then you can't. Yeah, well, that happens. Frustratingly, it happens when you're the one who's playing the ship, but when you're shooting at somebody else and they DCP, you can never set them on fire again. It's just one of the things you get used to in RNG with MOVs.
Also, I just want to comment on the CV's driving here. At least to me, I think he made a smart play in turning into us, because it ended up causing me to miss my first salvos.
I saw that.
I mean, it was good for him, but I think it was just an autopilot setting. Like,
but
I don't think there was a deliberate choice of him to turn at this very moment.
You also see the ricochets off of his armored deck, though. So that's actually working out quite well for him.
Yeah, you wanna try avoid the deck here, and that probably means you gotta just aim a little bit lower.
Right, hit the bow. But like you were saying, you didn't expect him to go bow in towards you.
Yeah, or like either hit the bow or just like have the shells fall down and hit the side, not the deck.
Right. I mean, this game is over anyway, so.
Yeah.
No death bag. Death bag. Alright, for those of you guys who are new, when somebody sends me a replay and they die, we take screenshots of that death.
I'm surprised the Malta didn't focus you down earlier, though, together with the
You were by yourself, so yes.
Yeah, completely alone Yamato. Like, this is like what better target can you go for?
Yeah, he was trying to get the Gdansk who was shooting at him for some reason.
Which isn't going to help much, but you know. Alright, well, that should do it for that. See if there's another good death pick opportunity. I don't think there will be. Well, maybe here. As the planes pull away from you. There you go, that could actually work. How's that? That could work. I don't like that, too, because then you got all 5 planes. Ooh, they flew right over you. You're new to this and trying to work it. No problem. Nicely framed pick. Thanks, Falcon.
But I don't go down alone.
No. And I mean, come on. Like I said, you're going to win this anyways. Ah, good. This is one of my new tunes. I just added this one to my my music. Oh, I can add the replay render. Let's get this ready. And there we go with the end. Let's take a look at your end screens, assuming this works. So 1.5 million credits earned, 218,000 damage. Now this is one of your first games in the Yamato, right?
I think this is like my 4th one in it. I mean it's a Yamato. I've played the regular Yamato for a long time, so.
Okay, Beckman, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
Are you playing your regular Yamato with the legendary mod?
No, I do not have that.
Okay. I was just curious.
Okay, so you wait, repeat that. You play without on your regular Yamato?
Correct.
Okay, so this is very comfortable to you then?
Yes. Also, looking at it, it doesn't look like I can get the legendary mod on the ARP Yamato. At the very least, going to click on it, on regular Yamato, go to 6th slot. It gives you the option to purchase it in the armory. ARP, it does not.
Go into the armory and see if it says that you can mount it on the ARP Yamato.
Let's check.
Okay.
It should be the same as Kleber and Kleber CLR, right?
So the Arpeggio one, it's possible that you won't get that.
Yep,
it's possible.
It does not. Whereas with Kleber CLR, you do see Kleber CLR in the for the upgrade for the Yamato. It's just Yamato, no ARP Yamato.
This is stupid, but because like it can. That means you really had to spend the money to get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the collaboration is done too. So I think when they finish the collaboration, and that's gonna be it. So, anyways, not a bad performance at all. You got lucky. The Vermont just stopped and sailed broadside to you, so that was funny. Got some good hits on the Malta, some really good hits on the Des Moines. That's 3 sheets to the wind. Oh, okay. We saw him in Cox last weekend. Veneto did stupid things, and you did a really nice job predicting him. And then we're gone. Whatever. So let's go ahead and take a look at your replay render. Now, Beckman, if I remember right, that name sounds familiar. Didn't I catch you playing Street Fighter 6? Is it Street Fighter 6 now, or is it 5? Street Fighter something, I thought. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Cool, cool. I remember hanging out with you for a bit. I believe I reached out to you about doing stack up stuff. SF6. Ah, you're working on some admin stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, I should have sent you an email. Feel free to look at it if you want or not. It's up to you. But, you know, I'm doing fundraising for Stack Up and thought you might be a good fit as well. So, anyway, Hakuren! I was sorry, Hadouken! That's how you pronounce it. There's your replay render. I'm still quite amazed that you just kind of sat in the middle for so long and nobody cared about you. You got lucky there, I suppose. Especially the carrier, right? Didn't go after you.
It's mainly the carrier, because if I look at the red team over on the C cap, they're all so far in the back. I don't actually think anybody from that side could even reach him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, like maybe, but I was far enough away that it would be kind of on the edge of their range, which is why I didn't push up. I stayed in the back, but in the middle, and for me, it was about maintaining guns across the map, presence across the map, because I mean, how many times have your team abandoned a side? I don't know if I hadn't been where I was, I may not have been able to pay attention to the Veneto to be able to stop him from getting that cap. Because if I didn't hit him in the when he first smoked up, I think he would have capped it, and then the game would have been maybe a little bit different. I mean, we won the battle, but they would have been able to keep up in points.
Right. No, absolutely, yes. You hitting that Veneto was huge. And it was all guesswork. And even Citadel them. If it was a regular hit, what matters is that you got the resets on him. So,
and it wasn't entirely a guesswork. It was just I was already watching him. So it's just, well, maintain where he's going, shoot at that spot.
Yep. I like that you kited away to a certain point. That was helpful. Hey, Ghost. Although for getting a giveaways here, it's exclamation point ticket. I like how you kited away. You knew the distance to kite away, and then you knew when it was time to turn back in again. So clearly you've played Yamato a bit, and you're familiar with the ship, and I think a lot of players, the problem with the Yamato mostly is positioning. They are either too far forward, in which case they get focused down and die, or they're too far back, in which case they do nothing and complain about their teammates. You found a nice kind of even ground there, although still I think you were way too aggressively positioned early, but you know, you didn't get punished for it, so there you go. Yeah, not a bad game at all.
Yep. So my thought for an idea for the title for this.
Yes, please.
Giveaways work.
Because you won this on a giveaway?
Because I won it on a giveaway.
Alright.
Or something along those lines.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Go for those special premium giveaway containers, because sometimes you get ships out of them.
Hell yeah, why not? I mean, it's free stuff anyways, and I love giving away Wargaming's free stuff. Do you shoot below the waterline for Citadel shots? Just saw that, might have to look at your Discord. Glad it depends. It depends on who you're shooting at. Some ships only have waterline and below citadels, so yes, in those cases. Some their citadels are raised higher, you can get away with shooting a little bit higher. But there's so many different factors involved in determining where to shoot at somebody. I always just say, just if you're not sure, aim a little higher. That's just my habit. I usually aim a little bit higher because most people like to instinctively turn away instead of turning in. So.
Yeah, and it depends a lot as well what ship you're playing, how your gun trajectory works, and the distance. You'll learn that over time as you get better and more acquainted with the ships you're playing.
As SAT says, think of citadels as bonus damage. Don't go out expecting them. Yep. Priority is to get the hits, right? SAT? Just get the hit. Make sure you know you're hitting the ship, and then damage will fall into place. Cool. Well, hey, Treesock, thank you for sending that replay in. That was a really nice way to start our replay analysis portion of our stream.